Well, goddamn. That was a very interesting race. How's it going, guys? Hopefully you're all having a good night or good morning on Monday. And yes, this is a little bit of a different setup and the angle's different and everything. Well, I'm back home, but you know, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here most often. So when you do see me here, it's usually for only a few days because the family has to see the dog and everything. So back in South Florida, going back up to Orlando in a few days. So this is just a temporary one, but I basically have a second setup. So you know, the angle's different, but basically camera's here and you got the light thing over there and you got a completely different microphone, which I actually don't even know how it sounds at the moment. So you guys have to tell me how it sounds. Does it sound good? Does it sound bad? I have no idea. And so yeah, you guys don't really care about all that. Want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members as always for supporting the channel. You guys are the absolute best. I'm still trying to get used to this right side camera. I'm so used to looking at the camera that way, and now I have to look at it this way, and it's just very different. But you are here for the NASCAR race review at Darlington, and where do I even start? I mean, my God. It was a good race. It was just, you know, when you make a 500-mile race at Darlington, some weird crap happens. And the last 100 laps of this race, there was definitely a lot of weird crap. And it was fairly entertaining, unless you're a fan of a few of the drivers. But other than that, it was, I mean, like, I've never seen the leader blow up under caution. Ever. I'm trying to think if that's ever happened before. It might have happened before, but I have not seen it. So maybe it was happening during a race that I didn't watch. But I've never seen it. And so when that happened, that's when I really knew this race was like crazy levels. But let's start at the beginning. So it was an awful day for Hendrick Motorsports. Let's just put it that way. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson had had some sort of issue. It was some sort of engine issue of something. Error codes. It didn't blow up, but there was just some sort of problem with the car, and he lost basically 4 laps. Now, you know, fast forward to the end of the race, he was able to get a somewhat respectable result, much better than having a blown engine. But then Chase Elliott crashed, and so yeah, he crashed, got no stage points, and ended up finishing like 36th. So all his playoff points will come into handy in round 1 because this was his mulligan race, and if he has another one like this, then he will be below the cut line for points, but he's still above the cut line. I'm currently waiting. I'm recording this right after the race. I'm currently waiting to see what the points are, so later in this video we will discuss that, but at the moment I don't exactly know where he is. We'll discuss that later on when I get the points. So that was the main talking point of the first stage, was Hendrick Motorsports trouble. But other than that, and then you go into stage 2, right, and basically everyone's having really good runs. There's some solid racing. There was towards the end of stage 2, I think it was like Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez and all those guys were battling it out, racing really hard. It's a normal Darlington race, guys. It's you know, other than when you put 550 horsepower at Darlington, which that was horrible. But other than that, like, Darlington always delivers. It's always a great race, and this car is good. Now, you know what? Let's talk about that, because I don't want to say this car is good without talking about what we probably have to talk about. You know, was it last week, or I think it was last week, I made a video talking about safety on NASCAR. They didn't even show the points. NBC just ended the coverage. I have to go find the points. Hold on. I actually tweeted, you know, follow me on Twitter, you know, yeah, a little plug, but I actually tweeted for you guys to help me out in finding the points. But let's talk about it. So, guys, you know I like this car, right? But I did make a video talking about the safety. When I was talking about the safety, I meant like the hits, like absorbing the hits of the car. And that was a big issue at Daytona. In the race review, you saw, you know, especially when it rained, like how big of a deal that was. Well, there's a little bit of another problem today with Kevin Harvick. So the car just caught on fire, and like it was a big fire, and so yeah, shouldn't do that. Now, we've seen cars catch on fire, but the problem is, you know, the fire came through the dash. You can literally, there's in-car camera of Harvick where the camera is pointed, you know, towards the windshield, and you can see the fire like in the dash. Literally right in front of him. Like, how does that happen? Remember, the drivers are supposed to, you know, be in like this little bubble in the car, like this little sanctuary where nothing can get to them. And the fire was getting through the dash. So like Harvick's hands are like on the wheel right there. And so, yeah, I will always, this car racing wise is great, guys. I really like it. And there's a few tweaks there. But what I said in that video stands true, is that safety has to be priority number one. And even when in that video I talked about safety, there's more aspects to it that seem to have some problems with this car. Yeah, the hits are worse. The drivers take more, energy from those hits, and they feel it more. But you can't have the car just going up in flames. From a competition standpoint, you can't have the car going up in flames because, again, the parts that they use, as Kevin Harvick was explaining and why he was so mad, come from NASCAR. So it's NASCAR's fault that the car catches on fire. It's not like, back in the day where everyone would make their own parts and stuff. No, everyone gets the same parts from the same, from the same distributors, and so this is NASCAR's fault. So that's something that's gonna have to be fixed, and it has to get fixed before next season. There are a lot of things that NASCAR has to do before next season. So yeah, we'll see that.
We didn't touch the wall, we didn't touch the car, and here we are in the pits with a burned up car and can't finish the race during the playoffs because of crappy ass parts.
Oh, and then what else weird happened? Okay, so Martin Truex Jr. dominating or leading, and let's not even, I tweeted this. I can't believe Truex is battling for the win, and Austin Dillon's running 20th, and one's in the playoffs and one isn't, and one finished 4th in the regular season standings, and won the most stages out of all drivers, and he didn't make the playoffs, but Austin Dillon did. Again, I wanted to throw my computer out the window when I just thought about it. I was watching it, and then Truex's car threw himself out the window. Yeah, the car just died. So, that was that. It was overheating. It just died, and so he was out of the race. So then Kyle Busch is in the catbird seat, and the Kevin Harvick incident kind of screwed up the race, because the Kevin Harvick incident, it happened in the middle of green flag stops. So certain guys like Kyle Busch and Truex, they were fine because they stayed out, but Logano and Blaney and a lot of other guys that might have been able to challenge, they got stuck on 7-lap old tires because they were on a different strategy, and they had to take the wave around, and so it was just like a 2-horse race, or even if you want to throw Denny Hamlin in there, a 3-horse race of just Gibbs cars, and that's it. There were other guys that were able to compete, but that Kevin Harvick fire changed the whole race because it came during green flag stops. So yeah, so that point of the race was kind of boring, and then Truex's car goes down, and then Kyle Busch, while leading under yellow with 20 to go, blows up. Sometimes you can't explain these types of things and why and how they happen, and in a weird way, I might believe in, okay, I do believe there is a God, and I think what God is telling us is that Kyle Busch's time in the 18 is coming to an end, because it doesn't get worse than that. It doesn't get worse than looking to go win your first playoff race, or win the first race of the playoffs. I'm pretty sure he would have won if his car just didn't blow up. So yeah, I just don't see any luck going in the 18 car's way, and for Kyle Busch. So I wish him all the best wherever he decides to go, but he's not going to be in the 18 car because God does not want to be in that car either, since he just took that win away from Kyle Busch, and then before that took the win away from Martin Truex Jr. It's just God did not like Joe Gibbs Racing today, but he also didn't like Hendrick Motorsports. He didn't like the big teams. He was like, no, you guys get to suffer today. And that leads us to Eric Jones, who ran great all race. He was never running top 3, top 4, top 5, but he was there. He was in contention, top 10, chilling around. The Kevin Harvick thing gets him on the right strategy, so it gets him track position. And so that again, the whole Harvick caution really changed the complexion of this race. Eric Jones could have easily been Joey Logano, but Joey Logano was on a different strategy. It could have easily been Ryan Blaney, but Ryan Blaney was on a different strategy. So Eric Jones gets on that right strategy, and he's able to keep that track position. He's just there as one Gibbs car goes down, another Gibbs car goes down, and Eric Jones wins the Southern 500, holding off Denny Hamlin for his second win at Darlington, because if you remember, he did win Darlington a few years back when he was at Joe Gibbs Racing. So now we got to go to the points, guys, because these race reviews, I'm always going to be talking about the points, and you guys have tweeted it at me, so I appreciate you. So we're going to put it on the screen right now, and here are the playoff standings. So we got to look at a few guys. So Chase Elliott right off the bat, 14 points to the good, better than I thought, honestly. Remember, he scored no stage points and he finished 36th. Okay, so bad. Bad all the way around. But he's, you know, the playoff points and other guys struggling also helps him. So that's, you know, Kevin Harvick with the burning car, Briscoe that was involved in the did I mention that? I don't think I mentioned that. That's disrespectful to Chase Briscoe. I'm really sorry. Chase Briscoe was involved in the Chase Elliott thing. He was just unlucky. Elliott wrecked and Briscoe got caught up and got a bunch of damage. So Briscoe's in 15th. Austin Dillon is just eliminate him, please. Austin Cindric in 13th. Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch literally could have won. Instead, he goes to only 8 points to the good. Alex Bowman in 10th. Elliott to with 14 points to the good. And we jump to the other side. Larson was able to get back on the lead lap, get like a solid like 16th, 15th place finish, and still stay 17 points to the good. And then you have Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Joey Logano. They're feeling pretty okay. Now, one thing you can tell is now that Elliott has tumbled down with his Mulligan race, is that everything is pretty tight, right? So it's not, again, this is the first round, but this is how the rounds are going to be, because no one came in here with a lot of playoff points. No one came in here with 40 or 45 plus playoff points in previous years, like a Larson or a Hamlin or a Harvick would have. You know, Elliott won 4 races. That was the high. Like, that's it. No one won 6 or 7. Like, that didn't happen entering the playoffs. So, you're going to notice that, you know, after the first few races and stuff, it's going to be quite tight. And I think it's going to be tight for the majority. And we'll see who can. I'm pretty sure Kevin Harvick will get out of the bottom 4. But this is a really open playoffs. I think you might be surprised by who gets eliminated, and it's going to be mainly because of bad luck. I don't think, other than Austin Dillon and maybe Chase Briscoe, other than those 2 guys, I think everyone else can compete. I need to see a little bit more from Austin Cindric, but everyone else can compete. Anyone can go down. Bowman can go down. Chase Elliott could go down. You know, Tyler Reddick could go down, or Ryan Blaney could go down, or they could all finish first for the round of 12. They could all win. You know, so this is going to be just a really interesting playoffs, because I feel like it is so wide open, as the points show. And then if you go to the race results, Eric Jones in first, Denny Hamlin in second. And yes, I'm probably going to do that, by the way. I'm probably going to show the points before I show the results, because, guys, we're in the championship hunt. The points matter a lot, all right? I don't really, you know, with all due respect to, like, Bubba Wallace finishing in 9th, he ain't in the playoffs. So, yeah. But I'm going to be focusing on playoff guys a lot, because that is what NASCAR wants me to do. They want me to focus on playoff drivers. Shame on everyone else for not making the playoffs. Eric Jones in first, Denny Hamlin in second, Tyler Reddick in third, Logano gets the 4th, Bell, McDowell, Keselowski in 7th. Good run for him. William Byron in 8th, Bubba Wallace in 9th, and Alex Bowman rounds out your top 10. Kyle Larson actually got 12th, so much better than I thought. And a few other notables, Ryan Blaney is in 13th, Ty Gibbs in the 23. Again, yeah, they switched cars. Is in 15th, Cindric and Dillon 16th and 17th. Suarez in 18th, Ross Chastain came in 20th, and then the other playoff guys who had trouble, Chase Briscoe in 27th, Kyle Busch in 30th, Truex in 31st, and Kevin Harvick in 33rd, with Chase Elliott finishing last in 36th. Literally as worse as it. Last place, no points. Wow. Incredible. And because it is late at night, guys, I think I'm going to end it there so I can get this out to you as soon as possible. So take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of the new, or not new, temporary second setup when I'm home. Do you like it? How's the audio quality, camera quality, all that stuff? Just let me know. This is just a second setup. We'll go back to Orlando, have the main setup, and I'll see you guys next week with that setup. For what is the race? Kansas. Yes, Kansas. Okay, so I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Let me know what you thought of the race. Let me know what you thought of all this craziness that happened at Darlington. Always feels crazy. I don't know why. It just always does, especially in the playoffs. But let me know what you think. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.